The MAGA movement will raise taxes on the wealthy.
All right, let me ask you
do
another
you believe
question.
that when the tariffs cause huge inflation, the lower middle class are going to reward the Republicans for that? When all the prices go up?
You see how he changes the subject? So he doesn't have to acknowledge that anything like this is good. This is what they do. He immediately going on to the next thing. He going on to the next thing. It's about the tariffs or whatever. He's so annoying, bro. He's such a bitch, bro. Like, oh my God, what a pussy. Wow.
Because in 1890, when we had tariffs...
This is a Karen. That's a Karen right here. You looking at a Karen.
The Republicans lost the House and the presidency.
You should know this, Josh, better than anybody, because when we raised the tariffs on China in 18, prices came down. We didn't have any inflation in 19, and we had the highest tariff we ever put on China.
Hey, how about that dire wolf? We brought back the direwolf. They brought back a species called the direwolf that was extinct. Using DNA, they had in a fossil.
What could go wrong?
I mean, it's just
what could go right?
I don't know. I mean, I
can't. Yeah, the woolly mammoth neck. You know, I think they made a movie about this.
Don't knock it until they. In 100 years, they bring back Bill Maher from a folk. Which goes way that would be.
Oh, that's good.
They made a movie once about, you know, bringing back extinct species and the risk of it. It's called Jurassic Park. Maybe you all seen it, you know.
And so anyway, the reason why it's important is that it's like, yes, a Triceratops would be important, but also it's attachment. And so, like Elon Musk said that we can make cat growth, and I think that really the dire wolves are the next step to that. The same as they had the woolly mammoth gene spliced into mice. Like I really feel like we're going in that direction. That's what's happening now.
I know, but
this is big.
Yeah, but it's not a dinosaur. It's a wolf.
Yeah, but
the first step.
And Bobby.
Also, by the way, like, what do you mean Jurassic Park's real, bro? Like, somebody has a T-Rex, you just shoot it with a gun. You know how stupid these fucking things were? They're so stupid, now you buy them at KFC for $6. If dinosaurs were such a big fucking problem, they wouldn't have turned into chickens. Really? What do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna take over the world? They're dumb as fuck.
He says it tastes like chicken.
Oh my God, like, they lost to Iraq. Yeah, they lost to Iraq. And so anyway, no, I don't know what the hell people are thinking, man. Like, they're out of their goddamn mind. And when you put it that way, yes, I'm not worried about a dinosaur. Why the fuck am I worried about a dinosaur? But absolutely, what if all dinosaurs were Democrat? They do. We saw them in the rallies. I told you, people actually thought this guy wasn't going to get deported. It's insane. Fucking obviously, yes, of course he's going to get deported. Let me see if I'll watch a video about this real quick. Can be deported. Here we go.
So this is a very, very sudden move that's going to have repercussions for sure for all
That's the goal.
the other international states that are targeted by the Trump administration.
That's what I want them to do. If somebody is an international student and they're coming to the country and agitating and causing political distrust, like, I don't think that we owe it to the rest of the world to be a, you know, open platform for you to come here and cause political dissent. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And if you want to come here and complain about our politics, get the fuck out, go back to your country. Yeah, any country would kick them out? Yeah, exactly. It's such a ridiculous premise that we need to have people that are not even citizens of this country. We're going to import them into this country and educate them so they can protest and complain in our country. Why do we have that? Why do we need it? Yeah, go complain in your own country. Exactly.
actions and demonstrations that they've been participating in under at campuses all across the country. I'm just looking at my notes here because, as you mentioned, I'm just running out of court right now, but it's really, really important because Judge Jamie Comins has found that Mahmoud Khalil is removable under the Secretary of State Marco Rubio's assertion that his continued presence and his actions in the United States actually compromise foreign policy and political priorities. That's very stunning because that is actually the only thing that she ruled on today. She did not rule on the other allegations that were raised by the DHS that he allegedly misrepresented information on his green card application.
None of that matters. It doesn't have to matter. Like, they can just deport him for whatever reason they want. That's what the rules say. I said this at the beginning. Everybody's getting mad at me for saying this. Like, it's a fucking fact. Yeah, that's what the rules say. That's fucked up, though? No, it's not. Why is it fucked up that the country that you are a guest at, you are not a citizen. You're not a citizen. You might be a legal permanent resident, but you are not a citizen at. Why is it fucked up that they can tell you to leave? No. This is the same thing that I said before about, like, like, if somebody goes to Japan and they're, like, live streaming themselves being annoying, I think that Japan should absolutely get rid of them. 100% they should. Yeah, absolutely. Same as nuisance streaming? Yes, it's the exact same thing. And there doesn't need to be a crime. There doesn't need to be a violation, particularly. If somebody is coming to the country and they're being aggressive, annoying, disruptive, and problematic, get rid of them. It's that simple. It's so reasonable. Yes, this is common sense.
They said in court that they need not go further than Secretary of State's Marco Rubio's assertion, and she seemed to agree.
Yeah.
And Armando, before we get
that's it. Yeah, none of the other stuff matters.
To, as you say, what sort of effect this could have moving forward, because there are other people being detained, on the same ground. I'm wondering, what is Khalil's family saying about this? Have you heard anything from his family?
Have not heard from his family, but we did hear from him right at the end of the court as the hearing was adjourned. He turned to look at his supporters, and he also addressed the judge himself, saying, quote, I would like to quote what you said last time, that there's nothing that's more important to this court than due process, rights, and fundamental fairness.
That is the due process. The due process is that the federal government gets to deport you if they think that you're a problem. That's the whole point. The due process is somebody is afforded that process of law. Everybody has a different set of due process. I don't know why people don't understand this.
What we witnessed today is neither of these principles present today or in the whole process. This is exactly why the Trump administration has sent me to this court thousands of miles away from my family. I just hope that the urgency that you deem fit for me are afforded to the hundreds of others who have been here for months. Now look, this is a really important caveat here because, as we know, there is another case, a federal case that's playing out in New Jersey court. That right now, basically the ball is in their court. We don't expect any sudden movement here. In fact, the judge here today gave this immigration legal team.
Somebody said Japanese Americans that got deported in World War II was also okay. You're getting in front of them because that's not what I said. You're drawing a connection to two things that aren't related in order to argue based off of an emotional,
I hate when this happens.
like kind of what you think is an emotional mandate. Yeah, that's just not. It's bad news. They're manipulating your words. Yeah, no reason.
2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks, to file any motion for additional relief, to decide whether or not they want to appeal that decision. So that's still going to process, and that's still going to play out. But now, really, eyes are on that New Jersey court to see what they rule as far as relief.
And Armando, this is the first of its kind here, anyway, and there is a precedent that could be set here because other universities have reported other students being detained in a similar fashion. So I'm wondering, we're going to hear from Khalil's attorneys. We're waiting for that news conference. I know you'll be covering that for us. But In the meantime, I'm wondering what kind of effect this has. Do you think, now that the Trump administration has this legal victory on the
Let's go,
ground,
baby.
keeping in
Hi,
mind,
hi, welcome back,
Khalil is a
CR.
green card holder
I just saw your
and
message.
was
Wait,
a
let me
US
fix
resident.
the
Will they
TTS.
try to do this to other people that they deem are, you know, not okay to be in this country on those grounds?
I hope so. I hope so. That's what yes, that is the best case scenario. Absolutely. As they should, yes. 100. Why wouldn't they? I don't know.
85%.
Yeah, it's not even a question. Like,
Almost live. Let's
yes,
go.
if somebody is coming to this country to, to cause political unrest, I want them deported. Period. If they're not a citizen, I want them deported. And the reason why is because we have enough of our own problems. You are a guest in this country. You are not a citizen.
CR7Survive7 asks who is the guy talking in the background?
Like,
Yeah, that's
I would feel the
Asmongold
exact
talking
same
about
way if
deportation
somebody
and
went to Britain and they were protesting and they
the
weren't
issues
citizens.
related with migrants. Actually,
I would
very
feel the
interesting
same
topic.
way.
Plus for Japanese too,
We know
because
what
you
happened.
have that immigration problem,
I would feel
same
the same way
problem.
if somebody went to Brazil, and they went to Brazil and they started complaining. You go
I
over
like
there
how
for
he
college, and
discusses
now you're
that.
complaining and causing trouble. This is
I'm
common
also
sense.
like a migration officer in my country, so
The reason why people are against
really
this is
interesting
because
topic
they
for me.
agree with
What's
the
going on in the world?
That's it. Because the U.S. is funding the killing of Palestinians? Yeah, I think that's really bad. And so that's a problem that I think Americans need to solve, and we need to approach that as Americans. I don't want to
CR7Survive7 asks who is the guy talking in the background?
It's Asmongold, Asmongold, you know, the YouTuber?
And also, by the way, you're using like an emotional appeal again. It's like, well, you know, because this really bad thing is happening, this gives me the, you know, the get out of jail free card, a blank check to do whatever I want. No, that's not the way it works. The fact is that there are like hundreds of atrocities all over the world that happen all the time. And so why is it that this one is going to just give you the ability to just simply ignore the law? That's not how it works. And think about how many other countries have problems like that too. No blank checks, no loopholes. Yeah, exactly.
Sure, and look, you know, it's very clear that the Trump administration wanted to make an example out of him. This was a very high-profile case of an international student being targeted by the Trump administration over his alleged actions during demonstrations. Now, it's really important here because the legal team did push back on a lot of those claims. There was a lot of information filed actually 15 minutes before the hearing happened. You gotta remember,
So why you wouldn't die? What the fuck?
CR7Survive7 asks who is the guy talking in the background?
I'm saying it's Asmongold, bro. It's this video. Look, and this is just a news report regarding this issue from these guys.
That's the reason why. Like, the law is it's pretty much plain English. Like, there's not really a lot of complications to this. Like, there's no reason to, like, do a runaround.
CR7Survive7 said yes, I remember, thumbs up emoji.
Yep.
I'm not interested, and I don't particularly care about maintaining a
Probably you didn't hear what I
right
said,
to
but yeah.
speech to come into the country and that's what it's going on.
It's just the same discussion
I
going
just
on
simply
and
don't
on and
care.
on.
I think that the
I'm
you know,
really
at least like ideologically,
happy to listen.
I think that the Constitution should apply to American citizens, whether it's being applied to non-American citizens. Like, for example, the Constitution says that you have the right to vote, right? Do we think that anybody who's here, even if you're not a citizen, should vote? I definitely don't.
Bro,
So,
what is the
and
damage?
by the way, the government
Holy
doesn't
shit.
either. So the
I
whole
heard so
logic
much.
that because the Constitution says this, that means that we need to follow it. Well, that's not applied in multiple other amendments, right? For example, voting. Voting's the best example I have. And so, no, I'm just not interested in that at all. Free speech advocate, by the way? Yeah, for Americans. Absolutely. And also, what do you, I've never been like I'm not just simply this is something that I've heard before. Am I a free speech, like a, what do you call it, what's the word for it? Free speech absolutist?
Bro,
Do I
what is
ever
killing
feel
me
like
so hard?
green card
What the
doesn't make you a
fuck is
citizen?
this?
What's the point of it then? So
I
you
cannot
could be a
kill the
resident in
minion.
country, and you could work in the country. Okay. Of course.
Simply
Scared?
cannot
Yeah,
kill
of
that
course.
guy.
Because I've never said this before. I've never had this opinion. That's not it. People are really struggling with day one logic. Yeah. Well, this is the thing: is that again, let's just talk about protesting. This is somebody arguing. Do you actually believe this is a priority to deal with right now? Yes, I do. I do. I absolutely do. I'm glad this guy's getting deported, and I hope they do. Absolutely. And like this is another example, right? Is that the strongest argument that this person has is using something that I didn't say against me. So yeah. This has nothing to do with free speech. Yeah, I know. Due process is important. Sorry, you can't just deport without due process. Well, the due process has already been applied. That was the judge's ruling.
Spoke about the other students, the other cases that we're covering. Absolutely, this can definitely have ramifications. Because if this judge is finding that the only thing that they had to do is have this memo, this two-page brief, written by Secretary Rubio, asserting that the presence affects foreign policy or the political authority somehow, well then that can also be applied to other things.
Yeah, Armando, I know we're waiting for the attorney to speak. I also know it's like to run out of court and report like you did today, so thank you for getting us the latest information. Yeah, no, I know how that is.
Thanks. And you have, obviously, there are some people that are arguing.
Crazy, bro.
Try talking to a real
Why
lawyer.
it's so hard?
Sure. Well, so do these lawyers. But you know who else is a lawyer? A judge. A judge is an elite lawyer. And guess what? A judge decided that he's gone. So I don't need to do that because it's already been done. That's why he's gone. Yeah, the court already ruled on it. It's that simple. Yeah, this is a huge W. I'm very glad to see this guy get removed, and I think they should do it to everybody else. All of the other people that were participating in these protests, where they were taking over buildings and stuff, even if you were just tangentially involved and you're not an American citizen, get the fuck out. I wanted to cover this because it's so fucking ridiculous. The Genshin Impact voice actors are having a very, very bad month. It's been going on, and apparently crashing out on Tectone, getting upset about other people as well, and
What the fuck?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Again, yes. Well, the reason why they're upset about this, it's actually very simple.
Bro, they just killed
They
me.
know they're gonna get
It's
replaced
insane.
with AI.
There's so many.
You know it.
Oof,
I know
I
it.
hate this bullshit.
Everybody knows
I mean,
it.
there's so many
The only
debuffs just
person
going
that
on and
doesn't
on and
know it-
on and on.
Actually, I would say it's them, but they also know it. That's why they're mad.
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Hope you've had a great weekend. And I gotta come clean about something.
Isn't it crazy how this is still going on too, by the way?
Okay.
Well, the
I was
Nexus
already in
is
the middle
gone
of
now.
making this video, but it was
Fucked it
also
up.
stupid that I was actually
Anyways.
at a loss for words like half the time, and I ended up deleting the video because it was just coming out so messed up because this whole thing is so freaking unbelievable. to be
It's
quite-
dumb.
So, do you remember that Karina, the VA for Paimon, do you remember that Karina video that she made on TikTok where she was like crashing out, getting all angry, all mad?
YouTubers don't know anything. YouTubers don't know anything. They're not voice actors. They've never been in my industry. They don't know what my industry is about. They don't know anything about SAG. They don't know anything about being non-union.
SAG is a
Either. They have more incentive to lie. They have more of an incentive to lie.
How do they have an incentive to lie, but you don't have an incentive to lie? Because their incentive is just simply to lie for content, but your incentive is to lie in order to preserve your job. Like, I don't even understand, like, the argument here doesn't even make sense. Like, I can respect, like, okay, well, this is, I'll listen to what you're saying, but, like, even if you listen to what they're saying, it's stupid.
Idiots like you fall for their shit and they get paid for that. Hello? So nobody else's opinion that is super fucking wrong anyway matters. Hope this helps.
So yeah, that crap.
This would not even be half as entertaining if she was not voicing, like, this little, like, fucking fairy in the game. That's what makes it so much better.
crash out video, the one I already discussed last week, played the whole thing last week, and explained why, in my opinion, your take is terrible. But I also presented a theory about what that crash out video was specifically referring to, because a lot of people thought it was about Takanashi stuff, but in fact that crash out video occurred before then, and she was instead probably crashing out over a video that either I made around a month ago, or a video slash short that Darkos88 made also around a month ago. For anyone curious who hasn't seen my full theory on that, I will link the video where I explain that all in more detail in the description for you with the timestamp to that part. But back to the main topic for this video. Now that we had a quick refresher about Karina's crash out video,
that was a crazy fucking video, man.
The Reddit post I saw yesterday, where apparently over on Blue Sky, Karina was
Gentlemen, we don't need mental institutions, actually, after all. These people signed themselves up, and it's called Blue Sky.
Saying that video, the crash out video, was actually AI. Let's take a look at this. This person... What? What? Person on Blue Sky, Noah Gibson, says, OMG, Karina liked my post. Hi Karina, I support you, but I just think your TikTok was a bit bad though. It was just the calling them stupid part. That was the equivalent of Biden calling MAGA garbage, resulting in cash poor winning. You both should have...
Cash poor winning? Is this like some sort of fucking like 7th degree of removal reference to Donald?
Taken Marge's advice. The gift of Marge...
Bro, what is this damage? I don't get it. Like,
to which...
Man.
How the fuck they kill me so fast?
Karina responds. Get this. Says, oh, by the way, I have learned that the TikTok you were talking about was AI. It was not my original TikTok. So yeah, maybe don't listen to Reddit at all. What?
Need more time.
What are we talking about? Like, this is... Wait,
A response from user Corn saying, did you watch it, or are you just letting people lie to you now? It's quite literally from your TikTok account. And another user Diamond saying, Karina is full of it and trying absolutely anything to try and discount any criticism. It's working about as well as you see here. And yeah, most people are calling Karina out for this. However, some people are actually just believing what Karina said.
Wait. So she recorded a video on her own TikTok and uploaded it. Somebody criticized the video. And then she, in order to deflect the criticism, said the video that she uploaded onto her own account was AI? There's no way, right? There's no way. What? She's against AI? No, not only that, she was trying to harass people that were scabbing and working through the worker strike. But then it was discovered that she was also working through the worker strike. And then she tried to excuse it and say that because she's disabled, then it's okay.
Like, they'll just believe anything, apparently. We'll get more into that later. But first, let's continue with the context. Because Noah Gibson returns and says, so this is AI, and you've never said this? I agree that YouTubers don't know anything, though. And linking to a Reddit post about the Karina crash out video. To which Karina responds and says, yes, that is AI. And yes, the YouTubers do know it. They just don't care. So according to that post...
What? What the... Wait. I don't even... What is real anymore? I don't even know what's real.
Probably nothing,
like
sir.
Karina is saying that the crash out video isn't real. That's not actually her crashing out. What? That's obviously.
But